I
Go.
fall asleep in the middle of this.
We are live. Here we go. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. It is June 26, 2016.
Hello.
Yes, this is the last time you're ever going to have this day again in your life. Hope you guys had an awesome one. I know it's hot, but just think of it as a blessing. Think of it as if you're in a sauna and you're just losing more weight and getting more results.
Oh, like a sauna for free.
For free.
Yay.
You live in a sauna. So if you guys are here, wherever it's posted, put that you're here. Make sure you guys reach out to everybody on your team. We would love to have everybody on. We currently have 5 people on. So let's get them on. Let's go.
Cool.
7.
Brian.
Soki.
Tina, Scott. What's up, you guys? We're just going to go ahead and get started because this is live and you can catch it at any time. So I hope
Hey, calm down.
Our children.
Calm down.
We just wanted to give you guys a huge shout out for the Cardiac Hill extravaganza you went on yesterday.
Raise your hand if you did it 5 times.
Oh my God.
Oh, raise your hand if you did it 6 times. Oh, raise your hand if you did it 7 times. If you did it 1 time, raise your hand. Woo! They're raising their hands in the background.
Oh, I was like, where are these people that you're talking to?
You too. Hey, stop playing. They're dogs.
That is going to be one of the first major tests that you guys deal with. And I think even for people who have done Cardiac Hill before, it always surprises you, like how tricky it is, how challenging it is. You really got to dig deep. And even if it's easy for you, you still look to your counterparts and see who needs support, who needs help, who needs encouragement. So you guys nailed it. You killed it. It's really amazing. Like, we really, really loved watching your post. So great job, you guys.
Yeah. Hope you guys beasted it out today on a Sunday. You guys have officially 9 weeks left until show day. So before you guys step on stage, you have 9 weeks left. So I know some of you guys raised your hand on Wednesday about cheating, that you couldn't not put your hand in the cookie jar or the break room jar or wherever it was, and you guys had to take a bite. You guys did cheat here and there or got Starbucks and put everything else in there. But just realize you have 9 weeks left, right? Your coach, including I, myself, will put you on stage.
No matter what.
No matter what. That is going to be my goal. If you say you're not going to, I'm going to figure out a way to mind trick you and get you on stage, because I know that's going to motivate you and that's going to help you from stop cheating. So you guys have 9 weeks left. Please go hard. Please work hard, and keep your hands out of that cookie jar, out of the break room, and whatever you guys are addicted to, right?
If you guys did cheat, don't beat yourself up about it. Get over it and move on. And welcome to the 90% of us Americans who make eating mistakes.
Yes. And again, before we go into that, this Wednesday, your goals are going to be posted on the wall. You're going to have an option to put it up there with it. And again, I suggest that you guys do it because it's going to motivate you.
Put your photo up
Your
there.
photo.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does motivate you. And as you can see, everybody from last class put their photo up there, even though only like 10 of them said they would. They did. They all actually did put their photo
No
up
pressure.
there. Let's see if your class is legit, class 5.
Anything else?
No, but that goes into, the cookie jar with Ashley, basically emotional eating. So I'm going to flip it over to Ashley. Hope you guys have an awesome one. We'll see you guys in
Get your
just
pen
a
and
bit.
paper out.
Yes. Oops. Sorry, Ashley. 1 second. Boom. There you go.
Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Joe and Elsie, I don't know if you can see me because you guys are frozen. Does that matter? I can hear you frozen. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But tonight I'm going to be talking about breaking free from emotional eating. I think it's safe to say that every single one of us, including myself, has done some type of emotional eating at some point in our life. It's something that's very common. Sometimes we don't eat because we're hungry, but it has to do with dealing with some type of emotion that's going on in our life. So just to give you a better idea, the definition of emotional eating is turning to food for comfort, stress relief, or as a reward rather than satisfying hunger. So sometimes when we emotionally eat, it's not only, a lot of people think of emotional eating as only eating when you're sad or angry, but we also emotionally eat when we're happy. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of celebrations are focused on food. You get a promotion, you are having a baby, you got a new job. Let's go out and celebrate and eat. And even some people emotionally drink. And sometimes it kind of just messes up our results because we are not mindful of why we're eating. And sometimes we eat not based off of hunger, but based off of emotions. So when you use food to make yourself feel better, you're eating to fill emotional needs rather than to fill your stomach. So a lot of times food is used to fill emotional needs, and it's not being used to fill our stomach, which is what eating is naturally for. Eating is to satisfy your body, to make your body healthy, to fill your body with nutrients, but we don't always use eating for that purpose. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that occasionally using food as a reward or to celebrate isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's when you continue to use food as a coping mechanism, as your primary coping mechanism, that's when you need to take the steps to break out of that. So like I said, don't get me wrong. It's not wrong to go out for a birthday celebration and have something to eat, or to go out to dinner to celebrate, but you don't want that as your primary coping mechanism when you are in an emotional state. So just to let you guys know, when you do that, you end up becoming stuck in an unhealthy cycle where the real feeling or problem is never addressed. So if you continue to use food to mask your emotions, the real problem is never getting addressed. You're just having it with food and piling food on top of those emotions that need to be dealt with. So emotional hunger cannot be filled with food. You guys need to write that down, that emotional hunger cannot be filled with food. Because eating may feel good at the moment, but the feelings that are triggering the eating are still going to be there. So you may be really sad and go eat a bunch of food, and you may feel good at that time, but whatever made you sad and triggered that is still going to be there, and it's just going to become a vicious, unhealthy cycle of trying to suppress that sadness rather than dealing with it. So hopefully after tonight, you guys get a few tips of how to deal with emotional eating, how to recognize when you're emotionally eating. So another problem with emotional eating is that once you eat based off of a negative emotion, you start to feel worse because you overate and you consumed unnecessary calories. So what do? You feel worse, so then you eat some more to mask that, and it's just a continuous cycle that needs to be broken. So by compounding the problem, you stop learning healthier ways to deal with your emotions. You have a harder time controlling your weight, and you feel powerless both over food and your feelings. So then you become not able to control your feelings, you're not able to control your food, and it just is a downward spiral. A lot of you guys may be asking, how do I tell if I'm eating out of emotions or if I'm eating out of hunger? There are a list of questions that you can ask yourself to figure out whether you are an emotional eater or not. And I'm not going to go over those questions, but I will put them on the post after this call. And it's something that you guys can read over those questions. And if you answer yes to more than one of those questions, you're probably an emotional eater. And as we get further along in the webinar, there'll be some steps to help you with that. So here are 6 clues that tells you that you're an emotional eater. It's separate from the questions that you ask yourself, but 6 clues to tell you if you're emotionally eating. Number 1 is emotional hunger comes on suddenly versus physical hunger comes on more gradually. So if you have a sudden urge to just go eat a tub of ice cream or just gouge down a bunch of food, it could be that you're emotionally eating, because physical hunger comes on more gradually. You start to feel hungry, and as you go, you start to feel a little more hungry. Clue number 2, emotional hunger craves specific comfort foods versus physical hunger, where when you're physically hungry, almost anything sounds good, even foods that are healthier choices. So when you start to crave very specific things, and they tend to be comfort foods such as ice creams, desserts, That's a more of an emotional hunger. Number 3, emotional hunger often leads to mindless hunger, where physical eating, you're typically more aware of what you're doing. Number 4, emotional hunger isn't satisfied when you're full. Physical hunger doesn't need to be stuffed. You feel satisfied when your stomach is full. So if you're having emotional hunger, you aren't satisfied even when you're full. Whereas physical hunger, once your stomach is full, you're satisfied, you're able to go on about your day. Number 5, emotional hunger is not located in the stomach. It's located in your head. So I'm going to repeat that. Emotional hunger is not located in your stomach. It's a hunger and a craving that you can't get out of your head. It's a mental thing. Number 6, emotional hunger often leads to regret, guilt, or shame. So if you eat and eat and eat to mask your feelings and you feel guilty after, you may be an emotional eater. You may have been eating not to satisfy a physical hunger, but to satisfy something that's going on in your life. So there's 3 emotional states that often lead to emotional eating. That's sadness, anxiety, and anger. I'm going to go over each 3 of those things and what they mean. I'm going to give you healthy alternatives to how you can deal with those emotions rather than eating. If you have not already been taking notes, this is a good time to pull out your pen and paper and take some notes. So, like I said, there's 3 emotional states that lead to emotional eating. It's sadness, anxiety, and anger. So the first one we're going to go over is sad eating. So if you ever watched a movie on TV and a man breaks up with his girlfriend and they show the girl sitting in her bed eating a whole tub of ice cream, and she's really sad and she's eating all the ice cream, that's an example of sad eating. You eat because you're sad, and then you feel more sad because you ate too much, so you continue to overeat, and that's that negative cycle that I was talking about earlier. So I'm going to give you 3 healthier alternatives to sad eating. Number 1 is talk it out. Share your feelings. If you have a friend, a coworker, a family member that you can talk to, talk out your feelings. And if you don't have anyone that you could talk to about your sad feelings, your journal is an excellent source. Write it out. Get your feelings down on paper and write out what you're feeling rather than going and running to the refrigerator. A second way to deal with sadness rather than sad eating is exercise. Believe it or not, research shows that the best way of battling sadness is by moving your body and getting your heart rate going. Even 30 minutes of moderate exercise can boost the feel-good chemical in your brain. So exercise. You're feeling sad, go on the treadmill for 30 minutes and you may feel better. Number 3 is what I like to call a pity party for one, and it's boohoo it out. Take a bath, light some candles, play some sad music, and just cry it out until you can't cry anymore, and have a pity party for yourself. Get the sadness out, figure out ways to get over it, and get over it. You don't have to turn to food because it's just going to make the situation worse. So the second type of eating is anxious eating. Those of you that have a lot of anxiety or get stressed easily, like myself, there is a such thing as anxious eating. We eat as an attempt to lower anxiety. And what I'm seeing is that research shows that carb-rich foods boost serotonin levels, which is a chemical that keeps you calm. So it makes a lot of sense that we turn to carbs when we're anxious or nervous or have a lot of stress, because carbs do release serotonin, which calm you down. But that's not always healthy, and it's not always the best idea for our results. So I'm going to give you 2 healthy alternatives to anxious eating. The first one is to take a nap or go to bed early. Research shows that people who are well rested are less likely to be stressed or anxious. So take a nap. The second way or second alternative is to do something relaxing or calming. Practice one of the relaxing activities that you enjoy the most before running to the refrigerator. If it relaxes you to read a book or take a walk, when you feel that you weren't hungry, but all of a sudden you got really stressed and anxiety and you want to run to the fridge, take some time out and go take a walk first and see if that doesn't calm you down before going to grab food. The last type of eating is angry eating. And that's when we eat instead of focusing on what's eating us. Food just buries our anger, but it doesn't get rid of it. You're only masking the anger, you're not getting rid of it. So a healthy alternative to angry eating is to delay the eating, even for 10 minutes. So before going to eat, when you're angry, take 10 minutes, sit down, take a deep breath, and tune into what you're feeling and what you need to do to let go of your anger. And you ask yourself these questions. What happened that made you angry? Why did it stir up angry feelings? And what steps do I need to take to find peace? This makes a lot to do to deal with your emotions, but we really have to take care of ourselves and our emotions and take the time out to deal with our emotions. A lot of us don't deal with the sadness in our life and the anxiety in our life and the anger in our life. And we end up turning to food. And it may sound silly, but a lot of us do that and we may not even realize that we're doing it. In our minds, we may just be eating because eating is a part of life. But eating should never be used to mask feelings, and you guys have to be more mindful of why you're eating and what you're eating, and take the time out to really deal with your emotions in a healthy way. And it does take practice, but it's something that's very, very important for you guys to do, because you have to remember, you guys are all in the release candidate for a reason. You all got to your, however you are, whether you feel you're unhealthy, overweight, you all got there somehow. And I guarantee that part of that had to do with emotional eating and masking stuff in your life that you haven't dealt with. And you have to remember, you all have goals that you're going after. So be more mindful of your emotions and take actions during emotional times. Take the time out to figure out why you're sad, why you're angry. And am I eating this food because I'm really hungry, or am I eating it because I'm trying to cover something up? Or even happy emotions can lead to overeating. So even when you're happy, take the time out to think, okay, I'm happy. I want to go out to eat and celebrate this event, but do I need to still make bad choices if I choose to go out to eat? You can celebrate with food and make healthy choices when you do it. So I'm hoping that you guys learned something from this, and that the next time that you are emotional in any kind of negative way or positive way, when you turn to food, that you take the time out to try some of those other healthy alternatives that I listed. And I really hope this helps somebody. And also, just to remind you, I'm going to list some questions that you can ask yourself that will help you learn if you're an emotional eater. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Joe and Elsie, and you guys have a great rest of the night.
Oh,
Boom.
that was amazing.
Good job.
Great job, Ashley. I hope you guys took notes on that. I know I always like to talk after Ashley does, because she just gets me so excited with the things that she says. One of the biggest things that I wanted to point out that she mentioned is just being very mindful and very present in why you eat, right? Are you eating because you're hungry, or because you're bored or convenient or sad or whatever else? And one of the things that I also want to emphasize is that she said, if you're sad, one of the things you could do for that is to throw a pity party for yourself. Now, if you guys have ever been to a party, parties are fun for a few hours, right? But they don't go 2, 3, 4, 5 days unless,
my parties do.
Well, that's a different kind of party. But throw a mini party for yourself. Know when to cut off the party, right? Just let yourself sit in it. Mope for a little bit, but then move on. It's when we want to stay in that little pity party, it gets old, and it becomes more than a party. It becomes a way of life, and you guys don't want to get into that. But I would definitely look for those questions on the page and really take a look at yourself. And if you're not able to accurately see yourself, ask the people who are around you, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, your kids, Joe, like, when they see your eating habits, what they think. Like, do they think you do overeat? Do you eat when you're sad or whatever? And lastly, from what Ashley said, find other ways to celebrate. We have a terrible habit of celebrating. Oh my God, you got a promotion. Let's eat. Oh my gosh, you put your hair up today and it looks good.
Let's eat.
Yeah.
Let's drink.
Yeah.
Drinking's included.
Yeah.
Calories.
Find other ways to celebrate, or if you guys go out, like we're trying to teach you guys lifestyle skills.
Sorry.
So find something kind of healthy when you go out. Don't just go off the deep end, you know, try to balance it out and make good choices.
Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna go more into, I know Ashley was talking about the emotional, but I want you guys to think about this, the physical. Everybody ball your hand up like a fist. So look at your fist. Mine's a little bigger than Elsie's, but everybody's fist is about
Yeah,
similar
hers is
sizes. Similar size fist, right? If you put it right here, this is the size of your stomach, right? This is the size of how much food is supposed to be filled up in your stomach. And you got to think of this as a gas tank, right? You're going to utilize that food that you put in, depending on what it is and how fast metabolism is going to determine how fast that fuel is going to be gone, that food, right? Calories, carbs, protein, fats are fuel. And you're utilizing it and it's going down. Usually it takes about 3-4 hours for the typical human, then they refill it, right? If your metabolism is really fast, your muscle mass is up, then it's going to be probably around a 2-hour range, right? So you need more food in a day to sustain size, to give yourself energy. And so when people are like, oh, I'm a bigger person, so I eat more food. No, what you're doing is and when your metabolism is not on point, is what you're doing is expanding your stomach, and everything that's excess, and usually we do excess when we go out to eat or do whatever, all this is stored as fat. For a lot of women, it's cellulite, right? For a lot of women, it goes in the back fat, the hips. For guys, it's back fat, side obliques. So when you want to go be emotional and go grab that ice cream, that Breyers ice cream in the refrigerator, and you're like, man, I deserve it because I fucking worked out and I did all this. Think about that, right? You're overdoing, even though you've been on point all day. You're like, I've been on point. I had my 5 meals today or 4 meals and I ate everything clean. I did it yesterday and the day before. I deserve that ice cream in the refrigerator. I deserve to go out to eat. I deserve to go drink. Just think, that's probably too much food for you, and that's going to be excess, and that's going to be stored where you probably do not want to be stored.
Hey, what if I'm on a meal plan and I'm full after my meal? Do I just shove the whole thing in my mouth? What do I do? That's me asking a question for you guys.
My suggestion is always eat the protein first, right? If you're full, and then the carbs or veggies, you can kind of like, I'm too full, I'm not gonna finish it, and then throw it away or whatever. That's my suggestion.
That's
Protein is always first, right? Protein first, carbs, fats secondary. And so, but you guys got to think of it that way. You know, you cannot reward yourself excess amount, because think about that. Oh, I'm going to reward myself because I've been so good. So I should go eat with the friends or family, or go eat some more food. And that excess amount of food usually stores as fat. And then we're going to be left, you know, 2-3 weeks behind. You guys don't really have 2-3 weeks. You guys have 9 weeks left. You guys need to be on point all throughout. So that's my take on that. That's more of the physical, but if you're adding in that emotional side of eating, you know, you can gain weight from it. So just think of yourself as a car with a gas tank, and that's all these meals are doing for you for right now, because a lot of you guys want certain kind of results.
Eat to live. Don't live to eat.
It's very hard because of what society has taught us, and we have so much excess food, and we have all these restaurants, and we have we overbuy with like Costco. I mean, I love Costco and I overbuy, but you know, it's just the way our brains are programmed and stuff. It's kind of crazy.
I was gonna sneeze, but it's happening. So you guys, don't think that this is gonna happen overnight. We know you're gonna have temptations. We know you're gonna be faced with stuff. Like, you gotta think 30, 40, 50 years you've been conditioned to eat and celebrate a certain type of way. So you're gonna have your trials and errors. You're gonna have your victories and you're gonna have your epic fails. But
Don't have it during this program though.
Just keep going, you guys. It's only 12 weeks, 9 weeks now. So just think, sacrifice for 9 weeks, get a little closer to your ultimate goal. Maybe some of you will reach your goal, and then just keep going after that. It's all about balance.
Our meal plan is changing this week. It depends on certain numbers, if nobody's changed, but it changes every few weeks. Every week would be too drastic. Your body has to settle into the new plan, and it takes about a week for the body to settle, and then it drops again. So, some people, they've gotten a couple of changes, but depends on what the numbers have looked the last 3 weeks will depend on the change in it. So like Elsie said, if you're getting too full, just make sure you're having your protein, and it's into the night, just don't eat your carbs, don't eat your veggies, don't eat your fats if you have that left.
So again, thank you, Ashley, for another great topic. You guys make sure you log on to the page tonight to check out Ashley's post and those additional questions that you can ask yourself to see if you are an emotional eater. I promise you, most of us are. I'm an emotional eater. I got to stop myself sometimes. I know Joe is. But it's just one of those things, you guys. We're all human, but we're trying to be better. So
this Wednesday, progress pictures, so be there. Your coaches will tell you. Hope you guys are active on your chats. Hope you guys are getting it. If you guys see someone that is not, very active or showing up or anything, invite them out. Reach out to them, private message them, become friends, because you guys are all in this together. Not just separate teams, but also just you guys as in release candidate 5 right now, 4 or 5, whatever class you guys are in. You guys are part of this whole program, so reach out, help each other out. If you guys need advice, we do have people who've done the program once and twice, so you guys can ask them as well. Be friends, be family.
be friends. All right, you guys have an amazing night. Check out the page, and we will see you guys later this week.
Peace out.
Bye. Good night. Thanks, Ashley.